Welcome to Protea Weekly. My name is Zane Stevens. I'm the founder of Protea Financial. It is a Monday when I'm recording this video. I will not be live this week. Breaking it up a little bit, but good reason for it. Tomorrow I will be heading out and attending the North Bay Business Journal Wine Industry Symposium. So I'm attending a one-day conference where I'll interact with a lot of service providers in the wine space, hopefully a couple of wineries. I probably see a lot of accountants, either people doing work like I do, the outsourced accounting world, but very good chance that I'll see a lot of tax providers, audit managers, those types of people. Generally a good time to see a lot of bankers as well. So excited to be able to attend that conference tomorrow. It'll be really, really good. Which means here I am today on a Monday, beautiful Monday. Yesterday we went into the 80s for the first time in 2024, so just beautiful weather out here in California. I was able to get out a hike, my kids were playing some baseball. Just a good weekend that I really am very happy about. So if you remember, last week I came on the show and I said, if I touch any of the topics that I have on my list, which I still have my list over here, it's going to be rather negative. And I said I just didn't feel like being negative, so let's rather focus in and talk about some people on LinkedIn who would be great interactions. Even though that's what I said on Tuesday, on Wednesday, on Thursday I put the message out there, and then a secondary message yesterday, which is Sunday, to ask people, what can we do about service delivery in the accounting space? We might not want to believe it, but our clients are telling us this, is that service delivery is just not great. And part of this is that over the last few years, there's been a really big push to say, we need to charge the value of our service, which I 100% agree about. We should be charging prices so that we can spend money on making sure we have the best people in place, give them sufficient training, and be able to afford the technology we need to do the best job for our clients. Effectively, we need to charge a price which is profitable and allows us to make sure that we're putting the best tools in place. Very important. The problem with that is that it feels like over the few years we're seeing large increases, which is great, but our clients are feeling like increases have come, but quality of service has gone down. And part of that, I would say, is mostly around communication. And this is firsthand, right? I'm an outsourced accountant, and I'm sort of picking on the tax providers a little bit, but they are saying that they're paying more for their taxes, getting less. The same thing as when we take on a new client, it's not because they're looking for a better price, though at times that might be the case, but generally they're just not happy. They're saying they're not hearing from their clients enough, not getting the service they want, and they're unable to have conversations around the team. Again, poor service delivery. So we got in the outsourced space, we've got it in the accounting, the tax space, and this is just the general feeling of our clients is that service delivery is poor, communication is poor, and the value for our service is no longer what we expect it to be. I put this message out to the accounting world, and there was a little bit of agreement. There was even agreement without agreeing, but they clearly do agree. And a big focus on it all was just sort of, how do we do better at this? And one thing that I did stand out is that it might not be necessarily that our service delivery is worse, but definitely the big issue seems to be a disconnect between what we're saying we're offering our clients versus what they think we're offering, which it just again means either we need to improve our communications up front and explain to people what we need, or we need to have a better open dialogue during engagements to make sure that people understand what they're paying for. Either way, communication is important. I've got through here, right? I put the post up. It's currently got 39 comments. Let's say half of them are mine, right? So I've got like 20 comments from different accountants out there, from people who are working at audit firms to people who are helping accounting firms grow. This is a tax strategist over there. There's a recruitment expert within the space. There's a person that does outsourced accounting and tax, just a general CEO, very strong outsourced CFO company, another CPA firm, an offshoring company, and even a tech company. Most of them are agreeing that yes, service delivery does need to be better. And a lot of them give some valid points on why it isn't. One, things are way more complicated. Things are way more expensive. So a lot of the time, service offerings have decreased to be able to maintain price, and that has been communicated to clients. Clearly not communicated enough, or in a way that people can understand that, hey, even though we're still together, we're in the same engagement, if we want to stay at that price, this is what it includes. So there is a disconnect, and that disconnect is creating frustration on both sides from what I can see. Clients are frustrated because they do not understand what they're paying for. Prices are going up, services going down, in their opinion. The tax providers, the accountants out there are saying sort of the same thing. We're holding our prices but giving them less, or we're increasing our prices and giving them a new defined set of tasks. They're just not understanding what those tasks are. My pushback there obviously is, well, it's our responsibility to make sure they are very clear on what they're getting and what they're paying for, and that they understand that. And if they're not understanding that, we're not doing our job, even though, very high probability that it's just that they're not paying attention, not really listening. But when I read all of this, and I'm going to summarize it more, I've still got posts coming in on a daily basis, so we'll go into a little bit more detail on this next week. But I wanted to just get a teaser in this. But my big takeaway is communication needs to improve. Surprise, surprise. This is something I talk about on a regular basis on my LinkedIn page, with my team, with anybody who's willing to listen. And I think what is happening in the world at the moment is that there's a big drive towards technology, which there should be. Automation is important. It increases effectiveness, efficiency, and provides a better product. But there's no point of having the best technology and the best processes if you cannot communicate what that technology and processes are. We need to get to a point as an industry in general where we improve our communications, specifically around the ability to inform our clients what they are signing up for. What are we offering? What will we help them with? What does this cover? I think the crux of all service delivery issues at this point is communication. Again, we'll go into a lot more detail next week and sort of touch on some valid points from this multitude of comments that I currently have on my post. But it's very clear to me that we need to do a better job of communication. From day one, on that initial phone call, we need to be clear on who we are and what services we offer. This is why I think it is very important for firms to niche in different industries, but also niche in a way that you understand that these are the set services we do. We are not an all-encompassing firm, or maybe you are, but be very clear on what those services are. When it gets to the portion of putting a contract in place, make sure that the clients are very clear on what that is. We have a process where we go through that on the onboarding, and then the first meeting we have with the client is to go through the terms of the agreement and what we will cover versus what they will cover. And we document that and send them through to it. It is very important from a clarity standpoint that everybody is on the same page. And it's even better if you get them to confirm that in writing so that you have something to go back to when there is frustration or confusion. I mean, I saw this on X the other day, somebody posting that, hey, what a weird day. I just got fired for doing something that they told me not to do, right? Effectively saying we had an agreement in the beginning. They signed off that they only wanted it twice a year, but now they're upset that we weren't getting a quarterly, even though there's signatures on it. That's fine. Like, they can still get upset. They can still leave, but you've done your process. You can put that in front of them and say, hey, you agreed to this. This is what you signed off on. And if you're not happy with that, we can change the terms of service, or as you're doing right now, you can go and find somebody else that you're willing to do the work. But there has to be clear communication. There has to be a process in place to make sure that everybody is at least on the same page, even if it's just in writing. But we need to push that through. That's why we do it twice. Do it at the start on our first phone call, and then once we assign an account manager, the person who's going to deal with the person on a daily basis, their first phone call is to get clarity on what we're doing versus what they're doing. Push that topic on a regular basis and make sure it's clear. And then try to stay within those terms of the agreement. And if there is a change, communicate that that change is incurred and we'll continue doing it, but it will cost you XYZ. On an ongoing basis, make sure you are available to communicate with clients. Send clear, concise emails on what's happening. If there's frustration, address it as soon as possible. Recommend getting on a phone call with people, documenting that phone call afterwards via an email. Making sure that there are consistent processes in place so that there is communication and a way for people to share what they're feeling and the frustrations that they're dealing with. Being able to talk through topics and problem solve along the way will make a big difference. So what we need to do is find ways to talk more. Obviously, in some busy environments, it's not necessarily that the people doing the work should be having those conversations. A lot of businesses out there will have a customer satisfaction manager or somebody that reaches out on a regular basis to check in with our clients and see how they feel. There's a lot of third-party services out there that can go and do surveys of your clients, check in with them. What do they love about working with you? What they're not happy about working with you? How can you improve? There's different scorecards out there that can be sent out to clients on a regular basis to get a check-in to see how people are doing. If we are worried about service delivery, we need to figure out the way to find out what that problem is and talk to our clients about it more often. Now, we might not have bandwidth. Well, then just find ways to do it without affecting our bandwidth and maybe getting a third party to do it in. And it doesn't have to be every month. It can be once a year, twice a year on some sort of regular cadence so that we get that feedback. It's important as we give feedback to our teams, downwards and upwards, we need to be able to make sure we're getting feedback from our clients as well, because it allows us to figure out what they're looking for in their services and how we can do it better. We need to consistently communicate with our clients on what we're doing, when we're doing it, and when will the work be done. This includes during the busy periods. I understand that there are going to be times every year where people are extremely busy, but make sure you communicate that to others that your communication will be slower. It could be an out-of-office message that says, hey, we're in the depth of the tax season. I will only be responding to emails once a day at this time. If your email is after this time today, I will respond to you tomorrow. Create expectations so people do not feel like they are being ignored. We have rules at Protea in terms of when and how we will respond to people, and it is very important for us that we stick to those rules. Even if it is just saying, thank you, I received your email, I will respond soonest, that is still a response. People want to know that they're being heard and that they're being taken seriously. Communication is important. Getting feedback is important. And if we really do care about our customers and we truly want to help, we do need to find a way to focus on customer service. I don't have all the answers. My customer service at Protea is not perfect. It is a consistent work in progress. But what I am is committed to making sure we do better. See this little sign over here? That one right over there? 1% better every day. And that's the focus I take into it, especially around customer service. How can we be a little bit better? What changes can we make to be better? And how do we implement that and communicate that with our clients to make sure that they are satisfied with the services they are receiving from us? The clients are screaming and shouting that customer service is a problem in the accounting industry. We need to figure out a way to improve it, or improve communication, and most likely both. I always believe start with communication, start by having conversations, start with being available, and setting expectations of your availability. That is a great place to start as the accounting industry. I hope this starts a good conversation between me and others, and we can start spreading the word on customer service in the accounting space and how do we improve it. I will be talking about customer service again next week. We will go into a little bit more detail, get some feedback from the comments on my LinkedIn post, and maybe we can brainstorm some ways to be better, or worst case scenario, at least just highlight what are some of the problems we're seeing and maybe come up with some ideas on how to improve it. As always, I love that you guys pay attention, come and listen to me. Like I said, I'm going to do this for 52 weeks. If you guys like it, I'll carry on. If nobody cares, I'll stop. But at the moment, this is a great opportunity to share my thoughts, share my feelings, and hopefully make a difference to either the wine industry, accounting industry, or small businesses in general. I appreciate your time. Have a wonderful week. Be kind. Goodbye.